Hey everyone. So today, we're diving deep into China's latest economic numbers. And honestly, they're telling a story that might surprise you. If you've been hearing a lot of negative chatter, well, the data seems to be pointing to a pretty major turning point. Let's break down what's actually going on.
Okay, so this one idea right here really sets the stage for everything we're going to talk about. The key phrase is triple resonance. Think of it like three different instruments in an orchestra that suddenly, all at once, start playing the same powerful chord. It's not just one thing getting better, it's a synchronized shift that's pretty hard to ignore.
So what is this triple resonance? Well, it's pretty simple when you break it down. It's three big things happening at the same time. First, you've got consumers who are finally out there spending again. Second, the prices of crucial materials are going up. And third, and this is a big one, key manufacturing industries are finally seeing a light at the end of a very long tunnel. It's that combination, all firing at once, that makes this moment so interesting. All right, let's get into the first piece of the puzzle, the consumer comeback. One of the best ways to get a read on an economy is to just look at what people are spending their money on. And right now, it's telling us a lot. So this is the headline number that really made everyone sit up. The Consumer Price Index, or CPI, jumped 1.3% in February from a year ago. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but it's a 3-year high, and it's a huge leap from the month before. For a long time, the biggest fear was deflation, this nasty cycle of falling prices. This number, it's basically the strongest signal yet that that fear might be over.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Where is this price growth coming from? It's not just stuff. Look at the surge in service prices, and especially the core CPI, which strips out the crazy swings in food and energy. A 1.8% jump there? That tells you this is a real broad recovery driven by demand. People aren't just buying things, they're buying experiences.
And I mean, just look at the details behind this. They're wild. Month over month, airfare up over 30%, vehicle rentals up almost 25%. That isn't a slow and steady recovery, that's a boom. And check out the yearly jump for gold jewelry, a whopping 76.6%. That shows you people are also looking for a safe place to put their money with all the uncertainty in the world. Now, for anyone who follows China's economy closely, this next point is absolutely crucial. Pork prices. It's a huge part of the average family's food budget, and for months, falling pork prices have been dragging the whole inflation number down. Well, in February, for the first time in a while, they went up. It's a classic signal that a massive headwind for the economy might finally be turning into a tailwind. Okay, so the consumer comeback is just one part of this triple resonance. There's something arguably even more dramatic happening on the industrial side of the economy, with the factories and the producers. Just look at this. For 5 months in a row, the prices that factories charge for their products have gone up. Now, they're still a little bit down compared to a year ago, but that gap is closing fast. This is a telltale sign that industries are getting their pricing power back and that the brutal era of just slashing prices to survive might be ending. And that brings us to a massive question. For years, we've heard about these absolutely brutal price wars in huge sectors like electric vehicles and batteries. It's been this relentless race to the bottom that just crushed profits for everybody involved. So has that era finally come to an end? To really get how big of a deal this is, you've got to look at what came before. For nearly 3 years, that's 33 months straight, the price of lithium-ion batteries was just in total freefall. It was this intense, painful period of competition that really shook out the weaker companies. And then, in February, after 33 straight months of falling prices, something totally changed. For the first time, the official data showed that the price of lithium-ion batteries didn't fall, it actually went up. And if you think that might just be a blip, check this out. More recent, high-frequency data shows the price of a key battery material, lithium iron phosphate, jumped a staggering 13.1% in a single 10-day period. That right there, that's the smoking gun. The price war is over.
So we've got a really powerful story developing here from both consumers and industries. But we should always double-check our work, right? Let's see if other data points back up this new reality.
So at first glance, the main manufacturing index looks kinda weak. But when you peel back the layers, you see something really important going on. The smaller companies, yeah, they're still struggling. But the big, established companies are actually expanding and strongly. This is such a classic sign of an early stage turnaround, where the giants lead the way out of the slump. And this slide just illustrates the shift perfectly. It's a tale of two economies. The materials of the old economy, think steel, cement for construction, they're still weak. But the materials for the new economy, the green and digital one, things like copper for EVs and wiring, and lithium for batteries, they're booming. The new economy is clearly taking the lead.
All right, so let's pull all these threads together. We've seen the consumer comeback, the industrial rebirth. What does this all signal for the future? Well, the analysis points to 5 clear themes that are starting to emerge.
So the takeaway here is that this isn't just some random bounce. It seems to be a very structured recovery. First, you've got strategic resources, like copper getting revalued. Second, the big players in new energy, like batteries and solar, are probably about to see their profits recover. Third, the AI boom is driving real demand for hardware. Fourth, that experience economy we talked about looks incredibly resilient. And finally, government policy is putting a safety net under key sectors. And that leaves us with one final big question. The signals from inside the economy are strong, no doubt about it. They really do point to a turning point. But of course, the future will also be shaped by a very complex and unpredictable world. So is this the beginning of a new boom? Or is it a more fragile recovery? The answer, really, is going to depend on whether this new momentum can hold up.